Hello. It's been a little while since I did one of these videos, and I thought I would do one today. I've been trying to do one, I just haven't done it. So today we're not going to be continuing with the series, what the heck do I do with this, because I want to demonstrate something that drawing on the go or drawing with what you have is, to me is very important. So this is an example of that. So today we're going to be learning about crappy ballpoint pens. Ballpoint pens are not like other ink pens. They have oil-based ink instead of water or alcohol-based ink. And what that means is that, one, they take a very long time to dry, and two, when they dry, they're fairly permanent. There's lots of different kinds of ballpoint pens, but you want to make sure that it's the kind that has the actual oil-based ink, and the way that you can tell is you lay down a lot of color. I mean, you should be able to tell by just drawing with it, but maybe for some reason you've never seen a ballpoint pen. So you let it sit for a second, and then you should be able to, wow, smudge it out. Yes. Don't smudge with your finger, but that's just to show you that the ink is oil-based, so it will move, and it will continue to move for a very long time. So today, I'm going to draw, or attempt to draw, this little salt shaker. If I don't draw it, maybe I'll do this video again on something easier to draw in 10 minutes. So, what do I have today? Crappy ballpoint pen that you can get from anywhere, and a super crappy piece of cheap copy paper, because a lot of times this is all some people have to work with, and I think that that should not stop you from drawing. So I'm going to attempt to draw this. Of course, the second I start drawing. Now, the glory of the ballpoint pen, as opposed to the rollerball pens or the microns and felt tip pens, and the myriad of alcohol-based ink pens, this already looks bad, okay, is that they can give you a really nice shade, meaning they can go from dark to light with just this ballpoint pen. No hatching or cross-hatching involved. Oh, this is already crooked. Why is it always something? You know what, I'm not even gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna keep drawing as if I didn't just mess up. Okay. What the heck was I saying? Oh yeah. So this can go from dark to light just with pressure, just like a pencil can. This already looks so bad. Oh, I don't care. Look, it's that thing from badminton that you hit. It's not a really cool salt shaker. It's a really crappy drawing. But I didn't grit it out or all the other things you're supposed to do when making a drawing, because I don't really care that much. Because this is like 10 minutes, and I'm not about to spend 30 hours on a drawing of this salt shaker. Could I? Yeah, I guess, but I don't feel like it. Alright, so let's get our little holes in there for the salt shaker so we can get on to the good bits of what I'm saying by saying that this is such a cool pen to work with, because most people discredit ballpoint pens entirely, while for me, it is one of my most favorite drawing utensils, even though I don't use it as much because it takes more time to use it. So what I'm doing right now is I'm drawing where my darkest darks are going to be. Okay, pen. And then once let's switch to the other one. Okay, that one had a weird sound to it. I didn't like it. This one's much quieter. Once I have where my darkest darks are going to be, then I can go ahead and show you how to shade them. And hopefully you'll see what I mean when I say it's, oh wow, it's just like pencil. You can blend. Alright, and then we have, okay, on up, and then this is like this, kind of, and then there's a shadow right here, yes, and there's a shadow here. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm drawing in the darkest darks. or where they're going to be. Now I'm going to shade them in. So check it out. Press harder. Oh, you get a nice dark color. Color? I don't know if I would call this a color. Value, that's the word. Using our words, value means the lightness or darkness. And now, let's check this out. So I'm going to shade. I'm going to shade this very dark. And then, using pressure alone, I'm going to get lighter. I don't know if you can see this, but the only thing that's changing right now is how hard I'm pressing on this ink pen. That's it. And you see how I can get this nice, fairly light scribble? Now, one caveat to this is that you have to make sure that you don't get buildup or ink buildup on the ball part of the pen, and if that happens, I will show you what it looks like, because if that does happen, you'll lose your clarity. All right, so back to dark. Now you see how I have several shades of, or several values here, just with pressure. So it works very much like pencil. I mean, you could blend it with your finger, but once again, please don't do that. Get in the habit if you feel like it. If you don't feel like it, I'm not the boss of you. Of creating texture and highlights and value with pencil control or utensil control, whatever that utensil is. Because in the long run, the first thing it'll do is it'll increase your confidence. And the second thing it'll do is it'll increase the steadiness of your hand. Like how steady is your hand when you draw a line like that? Do you have like a lot of those like super sketchy lines? Or are you pretty confident when you lay down a line that it's going to go where you want it to go? And all that's a factor of pencil control. And it's not really fun to practice pencil control. Nobody, well, maybe some people are like, yes, this is my favorite pastime, but it is very important. I think a lot of super simple art activities can be made so much better by practicing utensil control. I mean, as little kids, we practice eating with utensils. Or maybe some of us eat with our hands, or we eat with chopsticks. But the point of getting food into your mouth is a learned skill, and it's based on hand dexterity and hand-eye coordination and small motor movement, and it's the same things that you develop when you practice utensil control with art utensils. The same thing. So you see now I have the shiny part, kind of. And like, could I make this more detailed? I don't know, maybe. But once again, I don't feel like it. So this goes, what is this doing? This goes kind of like this. I'm looking at this picture in the science book of a photograph of table salt. I think they're trying to teach kids about the chemical formula of salt, which is sodium chloride, NaCl. And it is formed from two atoms on opposite sides of the periodic table. I know you didn't come here for a science lesson, but you opened the door and came in, and you're going to get what you get. Who knows what I'll say next? Actually, I know what I'm going to say next. So I'm going to continue shading this, and I'm going to tell another story. I really should stop telling these college stories, but I just can't help it because they're funny to me now. So when I was in undergrad, we had a drawing class with probably one of the most serious of my art professors that I've ever had, as in he always looked very serious, but he in real life was really like playful and kind of fun, but he came across very, very stern. And so we had to do this drawing where we put together a collage of things. So you get a bunch of magazines, you cut some crap out, and then you glue it together like a little kindergarten presentation thing. And then you have to draw the collage just like it is. And it was supposed to be a pencil drawing. But my cocky self said, I just don't feel like using pencil right now. There wasn't really any reason. It's not that I can't draw with pencil. I just didn't want to. And so I said to the professor, I said, hey, can I draw this with ballpoint pen? And he said, why? Why make it harder? And I said, because I think I could do a better job. I think it would look really cool. And he says, well, if you do a crappy job, that's your grade on the line, because I'm not going to give you time to do another drawing. And this was not a thing back then, but essentially in my head, I went challenge accepted. And I went ahead and drew my entire collage, which had a lot of metallic things in it, a lot of glass things in it, a lot of reflective materials. I did the whole thing with ballpoint pen. And when I was done with it, I got an A. And this man never gave A's to anybody, ever. It was like a I don't know, some sort of like, none of you people deserve A's because you're all sad. And while he wasn't wrong, because a lot of people were very sad, I felt really honored to be able to get an A on a drawing that I did with a utensil I was not even supposed to be using for that assignment at all. And so I felt extremely cocky after the fact, which I kind of got what I deserved, because after that I had another drawing to turn in and I got a C on that one because I didn't follow instructions. So the moral of the story is, don't get too cocky, because somebody's always going to remind you about something that you're doing that's terrible the second you do it, especially after you've done something really cool, because then they're going to expect like a lot more out of you. So when you mess up, they're like, oh, why did you mess up? I thought you were perfect at everything. No, nobody really thinks that, but that's how it feels. So as you can see, what I'm doing is I'm barely touching the paper with this ballpoint pen. And in fact, mostly what I'm using is the plastic part that has residual ink on it. I haven't even checked to see if this is accurate yet, like as far as scale and stuff. I'm just following darks and lights and shadows and things, and I'm really hoping it doesn't look completely skewed, but I'm having a feeling that it will. How much does that bother me? It bothers me a little. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like my stuff looking unbalanced. Not because it has to look balanced, but because that's just fundamentals right there, You don't ever want to ruin your fundamentals. Yeah, it definitely looks very crooked. God dog it. Okay, and the other cool thing about ballpoint pen is that it's a precision instrument, unlike when we learned about the pastel, which some of the pastels you can get a little bit of precision on, but this one you get a lot of precision on because it's, it's pointy. Pointing? Is that really the word that I want to use to describe this? This is a pointy object. And really, you can sharpen anything, but this will keep its point indefinitely. That's the word. I don't have to sharpen this. It's going to stay this kind of line, and the only thing that's going to change that line is how hard I press or how lightly I press. And I think we're going to be done here pretty soon. Of course, like right when I say that, something craps out. And I'm like, no, we were almost there. How could you? Oh, wait, of course. I wonder why this looks weird. It's nowheres. Now we're somewheres. Oh, now you exist. You're in the real world. Now it's time for you to go find a job in a small apartment in a city and make your way downtown and walk fast. No, don't do that, salt shaker. Go and make your way somewhere else. Like, somewhere unexpected. Where would a salt shaker be unexpectedly? I know, in the middle of a bowling alley. Like, just, not like close to where the people are bowling, but just in the middle. Not close to the pins. Just standing there. People were going to walk by and say, why is there a salt shaker in the middle of the bowling alley? And nobody will know. And it's the salt shaker just kind of making its way in the world. And the way that it decided to go was bowling. But salt can't bowl, so it just has to watch. And it really wanted a close-up, so that's why it's in the middle of the lane so it doesn't miss anything. Because just like Aerosmith, it doesn't want to miss a thing. All right, and I think we're going to be... Let me back up on this drawing and look and see how it looks, because I'm fairly certain it looks really weird. This part looks weird because the freaking curve is wrong, but keep trying to fix it. Also, this is one of those drawings that there's no erasing. You're going to get what you get. And so if you mess up, might as well start over. Okay. Yeah, so that's my salt shaker. Ballpoint pen. Try it out.